I mean, I just want to go see a movie, but now I get to go in drag and get a photo taken of my face.
Nice crying girl face. Dry toast.
Dry toast. Same level for me as French toast.
Yeah, if it starts with French and doesn't end with fries, it's garbage.
Get it out of here. That's the most true statement, Steve, anybody, not just this podcast, any podcast anywhere, has ever made. If it starts with French and doesn't end in fries,
get it out of here.
Get it out of here.
That streak that flew past you? No, that was my brother.
Because I'm White Lightning. You wouldn't have seen me.
So she bought a specific bag
for this, but it wasn't like described on Amazon Prime as like, this is the bag you need to bring to the hospital.
Bag, yeah. It's got like pockets for like this is where you like put the placenta or something. No,
this is the placenta pocket,
the placenta pouch. Boy, getting down to it, the nitty-gritty, huh? The placenta pouch bag is packed and sitting by the door.
Yeah, things are ready. Discomfort is at an all-time high for her.
Nice.
So, yeah, I think she is ready. I am holding out hope for 11 days.
11 days. I don't think that's going to happen, but here we are. We're back for another episode. This episode was probably one of the ones that we were like, maybe, I don't know, could happen, could not. By the way, it's Sunday, October 7th, 2018, the year of our Lord. It's the Steve and Kyle podcast. Like we were saying, this was the one that could have gone either way.
Yeah, I'm glad to be able to get one in here. That's why we're doing it. Well, Sunday. I know we shift back and forth, but who knows what I'll be doing tomorrow?
Yeah, exactly. You could be a dad. You could be a dad by the end of today.
So what happens? Let's say we record this episode today. I'm a dad by the end of the day. Yeah. We got that one in the tank.
Yeah.
But I'll have like 6 days burn. Yeah. And all these takes brewing in my brain.
Exactly. That episode that we recorded hasn't been released yet. That could just become, that could go into the vault.
Wow.
Released like
the Disney Vault? So we're going to have people clamoring for the 4K edition the original. Of this is our Lion King. This one evergreen episode you and I recorded preparing for the birth of my child is our Lion King.
Yeah. I just realized I have no idea if I saved that episode, and if I did, where I saved it.
Oh, good. So there's a good chance that is in like a vault, and then Steve ate the key and then locked himself in a cave and died. Right. So nobody's getting in there.
Let me check on that. It should
Listen, there was some content in there as well. Like there's some things that are going to stick with this listening.
Nope, I got it. Don't worry. Don't worry.
There's some things in that episode that are going to stick with this listening audience, and I think are going to spark a heated debate. Heated from that episode.
I don't remember. We recorded it like 2 weeks ago. So
well, I mean...
Could have been anything.
We've already got a poll question from it.
Do we?
Oh, yeah. There's big arguments going on, too.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
I can't wait to listen.
Like you're going to listen.
I can't wait to hear what my two favorite hosts have to say.
Well, Steve, I might sound antsy, and that's true. Because one of my favorite things to do in life is watch people eat crow. So right now...
Yeah.
We have been offered, and we have graciously accepted, an apology from one of our listeners.
Yeah, she was so wrong and so dumb.
So dumb.
It's terrible.
That's so rude. The thing is, too.
Well, I mean, it's not as rude as what she did to us.
Yeah, and the thing is, she's going to hear that after we talk to her, so she's going to be like, oh, that was nice, I talked to him, and then she's going to listen to the episode, and the first thing she hears us mention about her is so wrong, so dumb, times two.
So when we have her on, we have to be very polite. Yeah, we have to be very cordial.
Sure. Accept
all apologies. Oh, it's, that was, it was us just goofing. No biggie.
Now, we talked extensively about it last week, and we'll get into a little bit more spoiler-free discussion.
Boy, will we.
Spoiler-free discussion of the movie coming up shortly. But first, we talked last week about the Twitter feud that I was in with one of our listeners who decided to get on the wrong side of history, Steve.
Yeah.
Like like all those people who hate Lee Harvey Oswald. Sarah's on that team.
Wait a minute.
What's up?
I feel like that's not a good example.
Wrong side of history. What do you mean?
Well, wrong side of history, yes. Lee Harvey Oswald, yes. But maybe not for...
Being anti-Lee, right? That's wrong side of history?
Or pro. Or
I mean,
pro
we're
Oswald.
going to look back on the way we treated that man. By the way, somebody did tweet us before and I'm not going to get too off track here. Somebody tweeted us asking about where the #1 librarian shirt is in the merch shop. That is a Steve and Kyle executive decision that we should not and cannot sell those.
No.
As much, and trust me when I tell you, as much as I would love to.
Look.
And as great as the shirt was that Nikki designed for us, an incredible design of poor Lee boxing books with the #1 librarian, and the #1 is in the crosshairs.
Yeah. There's a chance that I don't know. I don't know what the future is going to hold.
Sure.
30 years from now, maybe I want to run for city council. Maybe I want to be the president of my retirement community. I can't have something like this being dug up on the internet.
Yeah, when you get to your debate and you find out someone has like a PowerPoint slide with a picture of you in this shirt.
Yeah.
And your 72-year-old Steve is now out of a job as a volunteer president of his retirement community.
It is a lovely shirt.
It really is. It's a great design.
With a white design. I love it. It's comfortable. Wear it around the house all the time. But do not dare wear that outside of the house without like a sweatshirt over top of it with a jacket over top of that.
Well, and the circles we run in, Steve. There's a good chance we're going to run into a Kennedy.
It's true.
And then next thing you know, they're all offended.
Very true.
Because they haven't heard both sides of the story.
Yeah.
They've got the government side from the Warren Commission.
Right.
Like, that's legit.
All right, but anyway, we digress.
Really, really digress. Sorry about that. So, we got into a debate. One of our listeners decided to argue with me that Bradley Cooper was not handsome, which... I am 31 years old, Steve. In my life, I haven't heard anything as offensive as that.
It's pretty dumb. Yeah.
Second time, huh? Going with the...
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think, let the ends justify the means with this one. We threw up a Twitter poll. Basically, what was the exact wording of it? Or a Facebook poll and a Twitter poll?
Yeah, Facebook and Twitter poll. Is Bradley Cooper in A Star is Born handsome? So that's as down the middle as it can go.
Yeah.
Right?
And you posted pictures.
Yep, I posted a photograph on Twitter of him in the movie. On Facebook, I posted 2 photos. And I really tried to find the one for Facebook where he looked the most like weathered. Mm-hmm. And it still went overall with more than 120 votes. 71% saying Bradley Cooper is handsome.
I'm wondering who that 29% was.
Dudes?
Show yourselves.
Like maybe like really insecure dudes.
Yeah.
But
no other dude is handsome.
Yeah, we're even getting like Twitter messages from some of our male listeners going, "Oh yeah, of course, look at him.
Yeah, come on.
For God's sake, the man was manufactured in a handsome factory." And you're going to argue that he's not? So she was using hurtful words like dirty hobo and other terminology that I'm not going to repeat because
it's just it's offensive to the public.
As a lieutenant in the Cooper Army, I don't want to even think about what she did.
Are you a Mini Cooper?
Oh boy,
that's what they're called apparently.
That's a.
I don't think it's a thing. I think it's just recently a thing because he was on, I think the Tonight Show last week to promote the movie, and they read a tweet. Somebody had because Lady Gaga's fans are the Little Monsters.
Yeah,
and somebody tweeted something about people are going to love this movie, especially the Little Monsters and the Mini Coopers.
Wow.
And they said, because Jimmy Fallon said to him, "Is that a thing? Are those your fans?" And he was like, "I guess it is now."
Huh.
So, yeah.
He's 6'1", so I guess I'm 5'11", so I guess technically. Would you guess this even after seeing the movie? Cooper. How tall would you think Lady Gaga is, if you had to guess?
I don't know. I always imagine famous people being taller than they really are.
And you saw the movie, so knowing Bradley Cooper's 6'1", you saw them next to each other occasionally.
Yeah.
Now, granted, that wasn't the top of your mind, but if you had to guess.
If he's 6'1", she's probably 5'7", 5'8"?
5'1".
5'1".
She had to be wearing...
Wow.
like phone books on the bottom of her shoes, and the cameraman would just have to...
Clunk.
The cameraman would just only shoot her calf up. So all the foot fetishists are now pissed at this movie because they didn't get to see phone book feet Lady Gaga. Yeah, 6'1" and 5'. The only reason I know this is because, like you said, Mini Cooper. Well, I didn't want to be offended if I'm taller than Bradley Cooper, but now that he's 6'1" and still handsome, I will gladly... label myself
a Mini Cooper.
A Mini Cooper.
I'm a Mini Cooper as well.
I mean, part of me prefers the Cooper Army, so I can give myself a military rank.
Yeah, but no, Mini Cooper. But we digress
again. But we really meant to get to this like right at the top, and we've burned 10 minutes. So again, Sarah insulted me and everything I've known and loved in life. So she offered. Now, my question to you, Steve, do you think this offer is legitimate? Do you think this offer of an apology...
Oh, boy, imagine if she...
do you think she's, like, waiting a snake in the weeds?
It's a bait and switch.
Get the hang-up button ready. Do you have a special button for hang-up?
Yeah, it's the one that just says hang up.
Hang up. Okay, get that one. Is it like a big red one? So can I reach over and smack it?
No, I mean, I haven't bought, like, an external button I feel like to set up.
As we grow... And as this merch store makes us an insane amount of dollars, I feel like that's something we need to look into. A big red hang-up button.
Yeah, that's a list of things we need. Hang-up button that somehow...
connects to the Google Voice account.
To the Google Voice account.
That we can both hit
Gotcha.
when we're on one of our... we can both hit.
So do we need two of them then?
I figure one big one in the middle.
Maybe we can have like a Y splitter.
So that's not bad.
Okay.
Yeah. Maybe a Y splitter for the phone button.
Splitter for the yet to be invented phone.
Whoa.
Hang up button. Got it? All right.
So we'll get that. That's going to be the first thing installed.
Yeah. But we digress.
Okay. So we're going to call her. She's offered an apology.
This is Sarah Frenchie Toasty.
I think this is a bait and switch. I'm coming out with it right now. I think I'm going to end up insulted.
That's quite a prediction to make. Let's see if we can get Sarah on. Get to the bottom of this because we want to hear her eat crow. Okay, here we go.
That's a ring.
Yeah,
that's how that works.
Hello, Sarah. It's Steve and Kyle from the Steve and Kyle podcast.
Hi.
How are you?
Hi. Good, how are you?
Oh, doing just fine. We're just calling for an apology.
Yeah, you sound very contrite. That's the way I appreciate you picking up your phone after being humiliated on a what we can call national scale.
Just absolutely slaughtered.
Embarrassed. Shamed.
Really, really wrong.
I don't know how much of a fan you are of the term made to look the fool.
Oh, boy. You sure look foolish this morning, Sarah Frenchie Toasty.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I'm so sorry.
What would make you say such a terrible thing about Bradley Cooper, a man amongst men, a pillar in the acting community,
an icon among handsome?
Yeah. Why would you say such a thing?
Because he just looks really oily and greasy.
Oh, for God's sake, those words again.
You can't even control yourself.
You're popping off right now.
You've been proven wrong.
Yeah.
And you refuse to admit it, and it's just despicable.
The polls went 71% in favor of Bradley Cooper here, Sarah. So if not just us an apology. You owe everybody an apology.
So we're going to let you read that obviously pre-written apology that you have come up with at this moment.
Okay. Everyone, all 7 of you listeners, I am so sorry that I offended Bradley Cooper.
Well, you didn't offend Bradley, Sarah. I want to interrupt you there.
I don't think it made it all the way back to
I don't know how high up the flagpole that went, but you more offended the entire nation. So if you want to restart and maybe widen the scope of who you offended, that'd be great.
Yeah, it's like 325 million people. So if you could just start at A and work your way to Z.
All of America, I'm so sorry that I offended you by saying Bradley Cooper looked like a greasy, oily
We
old
don't
man.
need to repeat the words again for the third time that, that we all agreed are offensive and unfounded. So continue.
And Kyle, I'm so sorry that I hurt your feelings.
Thank you,
On
Sarah.
your man
Thank
crush.
you. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
He is obviously universally recognized as handsome now that the Steve and Kyle podcast Twitter poll has determined as such. I appreciate you going outside and picking up that fresh crow from the ground and chomping on it. Mm-hmm. Hopefully it wasn't too tough to handle.
No, it really wasn't. And Kyle, if you wouldn't have gotten so upset over the whole situation, it never would have escalated to where it was.
Boy,
today.
it sounds like she's pushing the blame onto you.
This feels like some projection right now. I mean, it's almost like if I out of nowhere, Sarah Frenchie Toasty, lobbed a shot at Twitter against your mom, like a family member, or a child. That's Bradley Cooper for me. He's like a family member that I've never met, but I'm going to one day, and just stare at him. And it's like you took that's the equivalent for me. So, I apologize for maybe getting a little riled up, but I appreciate you accepting that you were way in the wrong here.
Oh, yes. And I still need to know, did you cry when you saw the movie?
Well, we haven't gotten to our full discussion of the movie just yet. We're going to do that probably right after we get off the phone with you. So you'll just have to listen back to the episode to hear Kyle's range of emotions during the movie.
Yeah.
Okay.
And also, we have to, very quickly before we have to go, French toast sucks.
No way. Pancakes are the worst.
Oh, what?
Oh, boy.
What? Okay, well, we'll call you next week for an apology on this one. Pancakes or French toast? What team, what camp are you in? Well, that'll be on the poll.
Have you not looked on Twitter lately?
Well, yeah.
I think it was Nikki Constantine stating French toast is so much better.
But Nikki is also on our S list because she didn't like cannolis when we were in Boston.
Nikki doesn't like cannoli, which is Steve's family food.
Exactly. It's the food of my people.
So it's like you and Nikki and a bunch of the listeners just decide to be contrarians and wrong. That's more important. So I can't wait because... get another written apology ready, hopefully a little better and more heartfelt than this one, because when we call you next week after pancakes smash French toast in the poll this week, you are going to feel really silly.
We'll see about that.
All right, Sarah. Well, thank you for taking the call, eating that crow, and being a dedicated listener to the Steve and Kyle podcast. We greatly appreciate it.
All right. Thank you, guys.
Have yourself
a good day.
have yourself a good little Sunday.
Hashtag Team Minnie Cooper.
Oh, boy. Well, that was nice. That was, there
was a portion there that didn't feel exactly heartfelt.
Yeah.
It was the portion where she used mean words.
Yeah.
Which was a lot of it.
Terrible. Absolutely terrible.
Just quite a bit of it.
Well, we got our apology from Sarah Frenchie Toasty. We're both Mini Coopers now.
Yep.
So
we're in the gang.
So things are good. So let's break down this movie that we saw.
Yeah.
It was me and Annette, you and Katie. Friday night.
Yeah.
At way too late of an hour.
That's 8 for anybody listening. 8:15.
The witching hour of 8:15. This movie started, and as everybody knows, the time posted is not when the movie starts. That's when the previews start. So about 20 minutes of previews, probably, or a lot, probably 6 previews.
Yeah, I think it's about 15 to 16 minutes of previews usually. So.
A lot of previews. So 8:35 ish. 8:30, 8:35-ish, the movie starts, and the thing that I like about it...
The witching hour.
The witching hour, yeah.
It's 8 p.m. on Friday.
The thing that I like about... I really love when I go to a movie, and it starts, like... There's not the... Miramax Films, a so-and-so production.
16 minutes of... Yeah.
And then, like, this... build up where you see the rolling hills of the countryside. Yeah. This movie starts immediately.
You got the lion roar... for MGM, and then boom, we're in a bar.
Yeah.
And we're rolling.
We are. It's happening.
Takes no prisoners.
Yeah. So, incredible movie. I thought. I'm sure that you we briefly discussed it after the movie.
Yeah.
I'm sure that you felt the same way. But there's so much to talk about.
To very briefly, loved it. Absolutely adored it.
Is it going to win an Oscar?
Yes.
Okay.
If for nothing else, then original song.
All right.
It will definitely be nominated and probably win.
You think it'll be nominated for Best Picture?
Yes. Okay. I think here's my guess after seeing the movie on Friday. So with fresh eyes, maybe a bit distorted eyes, I think it's nominated for Best Picture, Best Leading Actress, Leading Actor, Director, Song.
All right. I'm not nearly the movie buff that you are.
Yeah.
But I think I can tell when a movie's really good. It was a great movie.
I think you're looking for song, you're going to have like the main song, and it was released called Shallow with Bradley Cooper and Lady Gaga. It'll be up against 4 songs from the same Trolls movie, the animated feature. So that's the way those always go. Disney song that'll have 4 songs from one movie nominated, and then this. So yeah, I think it'll be nominated for all those. I don't know how much it'll win, but absolutely tremendous. Absolutely. Now I went in. Now this is the 4th iteration of this movie, A Star Is Born.
Yeah, I think that the
1930s,
first one, it was
50s,
like in the 30s,
70s, and now the most recent one was Barbra Streisand, Chris Christopherson in the 1970s. Purposely didn't read anything about him.
I knew nothing about it. I knew that it was a remake from many, many years ago.
Knowing what you know now, do you wish you had looked or at least read a summary or knowing like what happened in the other movies?
Well, I don't know how faithful this iteration was to previous ones.
The overarching themes are pretty close, pretty similar. Yeah.
No, I'm happy that I didn't. I'm happy I went in knowing nothing, and so it was like completely fresh eyes for me, and I liked it.
Yeah, so it was 2 hour and 15-minute
long movie,
emotional roller coaster ride about a relationship between an old crooner and an up and coming singer who's too afraid to actually sing her own songs until the old crooner forces her hand. Absolutely outstanding. Bradley Cooper and Lady Gaga had the soundtrack waiting for me Friday when I got home from work.
Yep.
Started playing it immediately. And if you're planning on seeing this movie, you don't want spoilers. Don't go read the soundtrack listing of the songs.
We were looking at that before we started recording. The soundtrack listing is basically the plot of the movie.
In hindsight, Steve.
In hindsight,
had I read the soundtrack listing instead of just hitting play and going, "That's awesome," I would have been able to accurately tell you what happens. Now, a lot of people, I bet you a lot of people, and especially people, 1970s, so people in their 40s, late 30s, probably are familiar with the last version of this movie, and they know what happened, so they're looking at us like a couple of idiots. Mm-hmm. But yeah, that is if you read a little bit into the soundtrack, the song listings, you'll know.
Song listings tell a tale.
You'll know where it's headed. So to answer Sarah's question and what I had been bracing you for a couple of weeks, saying that just prepare because I am an emotional mess at movie. I can tell. I'm a guy when I see a trailer for a movie, I can oh boy, that one, that's going to wreck me. I'll tell you the next one, Steve, that's coming up, and it's called, I forget what it's
that Trolls movie you were talking about?
Listen, if there's anything that gets me emotional, it's animated figures with really tall hair.
Yeah. Well, I mean, if there's a garage scene.
Yeah. It's a new Steve Carell movie. It's coming out on Christmas. The Wonderful World of Marvin. Welcome to Marvin.
I don't know if I've seen that.
Oh, Steve Carell plays a guy who gets randomly jumped at a bar and loses all of his memories, so he has to create a world with figures and stuff that he makes, and it's him like battling with it's going to destroy me. I can already promise you that, and maybe Creed 2.
Creed 2.
Did you ever see Creed 1?
I did.
I mean, Stallone with the cancer, that didn't get you?
It did, but
you're an East Coast guy, Rocky Balboa, man.
That whole movie, for me.
If you blame the quad scene for ruining the whole movie for you.
The movie was great. And then there was the quad scene. And it just ruined it.
Okay.
Absolutely ruined it. And whoever was, I don't know, who's in charge of that? Is that the director?
I guess,
is that,
yeah.
Like, I don't know. But when that scene was shot, and they're in there in the cutting room, and it should have been an indication when no doubt everybody in the room pointed and laughed at that scene because it was so ridiculous.
I still don't understand where it fits in for that movie, but that movie, man.
Well, I mean,
as
the
a huge
the quad
Rocky
scene, it's reminiscent. It's basically a modern take on the Rocky training scene from the movies of old, the 70s and 80s, where at some point, the climactic point in every Rocky movie, he decides, like, all right,
back to my roots.
I'm gonna fight. And he goes out, and the alarm clock goes off at like 3:30, and he gets up, and he puts 10 raw eggs in a cup, and then he drinks them, and then he goes out running through the streets of Philadelphia, and then he's boxing against the half slab of beef, and he's running up the art museum steps and through the markets, through the produce markets and everything, down South Street and through this area, through that area, and then they decided, hey, I mean, that's cool and all, and as a little hat tip to Rocky from 40 years ago, what do you say we have Michael B. Jordan run through the streets? This time, quads are going to chase him. And dirt bike kids doing wheelies.
I don't even know if it felt like an homage to me. It was far and away the most out-of-place thing I've ever seen in any movie.
Yeah.
Just the whole tone of that movie was about, obviously the son of Apollo just battling with his father's life. And then all of a sudden, he's running down a metropolitan Philadelphia road, which you've been there. There's traffic, except for the time he's running because it's just filled with quads and dirt bikes. I wonder if there's ever been an explanation. Like, we should look into
I wonder if that's going to go down as one of those infamous infamous WTF moments from movies, like a BuzzFeed list or something.
But come on, man. Now, I think you grew up on Rocky. Did you like the Rocky movies?
I loved them, yeah, of course.
So seeing him battle cancer and still trying to train...
Great. It was great. The movie overall...
pulling the heartstrings,
the movie
right?
overall was great, and I would love to get the movie and just edit out that one scene to see how much more I liked it.
Okay. So you're in for Rambo 5?
That is crazy.
You're in? That's legit.
I was Rocky, but not really Rambo. I didn't really care about Rambo.
Biggest missed opportunity in film history, Steve. You have Rambo First Blood.
Yeah.
What's the logical next step?
Rambo Second Blood.
How about Rambo First Blood Part 2?
More blood.
Yeah. Big misstep. So, yeah, Rambo 5 started. I love Stallone. I hope... Listen, Stallone is going to be making movies in 40 years. When I'm Stallone's
he's like
age
70,
now.
Right?
Yeah, and he's going to look the same as he does now, though, because he's looked this way since 1978.
Yeah.
So he's making another Rambo. He keeps pumping out. Well, I guess it's not the Rocky series. It's the Rocky series, but it's not a Rocky movie anymore. It's a Creed series at this point. But pumping out the old hits. What do we need from Stallone? We need an over-the-top sequel.
That would be nice. Yeah, I'd watch that.
Maybe a cliffhanger sequel.
Oh, cliffhanger was my jam.
Right? What other big hitters has Stallone done that we could use a sequel that are so, like, I've always wanted, what were those Chuck Norris, like, war prisoner movies? Oh, boy.
Chuck Norris war prisoner.
I want to say that's what it was, but he would, let's see, Missing in Action. What's it going to take to get,
Chuck Norris. Oh, the guy from the memes, you mean?
Yeah. That's how he's known. Yeah, so Rambo 5 coming out. But yeah, I think Creed 2 will be the next movie that makes me cry.
All right.
I'm presuming.
I'll go see that. When's that come out?
I think Thanksgiving.
All right. You in for that? Because I know Annette will not be in for that.
Oh, I'm absolutely in for that, Steve.
Okay, cool.
And then the one after that will be this Steve Carell, Welcome to Marvin, I want to say is what it's called,
All right.
on Christmas. So that'll be a fun Christmas gift. Sit weeping in the theater.
Just cry.
Maybe alone because I left my wife home with the baby on Christmas Day, saying I need to go see this movie. You need to take care of our son.
Yeah. Yeah. You had him. You take care of him.
Yeah, not my problem anymore. I'll see you at the next Stallone pick.
So A Star is Born. The important question, which is yet to be answered.
Yeah.
So we digress. Were the waterworks in full action on Friday night?
2 times, Steve. I was sitting 2 seats away from you.
Yeah. Not the planned opposite ends.
Yeah.
Just because of the way that we walked in.
Annette took the end, so I was furthest away from Annette. You were sitting next to Katie. And
by the way, we can't forget to talk about the snack layout.
Oh, yeah, obviously.
It's very key.
But yeah, 2 separate occasions, Steve. Now, can you guess, trying to keep it as spoiler-free, can you guess the 2? I think one may surprise you.
All right, well, the one had to be the end.
No.
Really?
Did not.
Wait a minute. No, Yeah, I don't.
Now, it's important to note, this wasn't open sobbing. It's me battling with my insides with presume like a scrunched up face, and then a couple of tears rolling down.
Was it when
the side of the eye
when he went to see the ranch?
No.
Or like the aftermath of that when he got in the him and his brother.
Now one was a scene. First time he'd seen his wife in a little while after he had gone away.
Oh yeah. Okay.
That one got me.
Okay. Oh, because yeah.
Oh man, when he
God.
I
get it.
The surprise one. Mm-hmm. Not a sad moment. I was grinning ear to ear and crying. Does that help you?
It's funny because I noticed there were a ton of times throughout that movie when I realized I'm just sitting here with the biggest smile on my face.
And in hindsight, that's not going to sound accurate once you see this movie. But the first hour of this movie was just filled with joy.
Is it a scene that, not a spoiler, you can see in the music video for the song Shallow?
Yep.
So when he pulls her out on stage.
Yep, absolutely. That first time when they pull her out on stage, and I am not a Lady Gaga. I'm not buying her albums.
You're not a little monster?
Not a little monster.
I mean, you can't be can you be a little monster?
I'd be a big monster.
And a Mini Cooper.
I don't know if I want to call myself a big monster.
The Venn diagram, is there overlap?
I feel like there's a lot more overlap now than there was 5 days ago.
Yeah.
But I'm not a big fan. I don't hate her music. I'm not the guy downloading her albums. I'm not the demographic. I think that's fine.
Right, yeah, you're more of a Kesha guy.
But I think she's tremendous in this movie, and I think her music that she made for this movie is just as outstanding. But when he pulls her on stage to play the song that she wrote, Shallow, and to see her, she played it beautifully. She starts singing. She gets nervous. Yeah. She covers her eyes with her hands. It was the most endearing thing I've ever seen in a movie, and I couldn't help but to be so happy that I was smiling with a tear rolling down my face.
That was a great scene.
It was
one of the best scenes of the movie, but still, the part of me that says I can't disconnect enough from reality to sit there and not say oh, come on, man. She didn't even write the whole song. How does he know the song already? I mean, he sung a little bit, or she sung a little bit of it, and all of a sudden, he arranged it, and now they both know everything.
I think the idea is that she wrote the portion she sang to him that he was familiar with. She wrote. Yeah. He wrote the other portion to go with that.
Yeah.
And then they sang the end together. But no, I get it. And
there's some liberties taken.
And the idea that she was pulled up on stage and she knew the pacing and everything already. obviously, Steve, we're suspending disbelief for a moment in time.
Just a little bit.
So I can grin like a buffoon and cry
I get it.
while this happens.
See, it's not like Star Wars where I'm like, oh, yeah.
Pew, pew, lasers. Yeah.
No, but... I mean,
it's obviously a step away from reality here that every movie has that. And this one, just as many with, oh, hey, so she just quit her job and now she has a record deal within, a week.
Yeah.
But I get it. But yeah, those two scenes were the ones that absolutely, and I think the ending got me so quickly, I didn't even have time to process it. So that one did not affect me as much.
That was a surprise.
Yeah.
But you started to see where this where it was going, and I was like, oh no.
Yep.
Wait a minute. Hold on. I think I know what's going to happen here.
There's a dog involved, which is never good.
No.
Never okay.
Never.
To use a dog as an emotional device against me personally.
Sons of bitches.
Me personally. And you personally.
Yeah.
It felt like those two idiots. Mid-Michigan. We're going to get them.
Wait till the dog scene. And it worked, man.
But I think safe to say,
checkmate there.
I never got a chance to ask. What did your wife think?
Oh, she loved it.
Did she love it?
Yeah.
Oh man. Yeah. It lived up to everything I hoped it would. I kind of had a feeling it would, but I don't know if you could tell going in. I kind of build things up in my brain.
Yeah, I've noticed that.
But loved it. Lived up to every expectation. Some people claiming it's slow. Yeah, well, you know what I'd tell you is it's not a.
It is.
It's not a John Wayne Western.
It's a little bit slow. There were points where I was sitting there like, okay, we're kind of been here a while, but it was slow. But I think that it still carried. There weren't I wouldn't say, oh, you don't need that. Take that scene out. There was no quad scene.
Right, there wasn't one that you look at, you go, you could have cut that easily. Yeah. Or there's always things that you can trim down. Sure. But in general, 2 hours, 15 minutes for me could have been 3 hours. Yeah. Would have loved it.
So, what time is that showing tonight? You want to go back?
I mean, it's 8:15 is a little close. They got
you know what I call 8:15?
The witching hour.
The witching hour.
Philip, if you can get going on that. 8 p.m. being the witching hour. I don't even have an idea for you.
Maybe me on riding a broom.
As the clock strikes 8, I want to see Steve, like a caricature of Steve, glancing up and then grabbing his broom or on the broom as he rips out of town because it's the witching hour. And it's Friday night. So please, Philip, get on that at your earliest convenience.
Yeah.
Tremendous. I'd give it the highest recommendation for people to go see. The theater was not as full as I anticipated. I really thought it would be really packed. It's Friday night.
Sure it would be. Yeah, opening night. Or was it? Did it open on?
It technically opened Thursday, but for most people's awareness level, it's Friday night, right?
Yeah.
But maybe date night Saturday. But I absolutely loved it. Please go see it. I want to have many Twitter conversations about the movie.
Yeah,
I'm not kidding you.
Sarah Frenchie Toasty, get out there and you see that movie. By the way, Bradley Cooper. His hair, I mean, that is my goal.
Are you not?
That is my goal, to have Bradley Cooper, A Star Is Born hair.
It's stunning. It works so... I don't care about the logic behind, hey, he's gone for about 3 months and his hair looks exactly the same. I don't care.
Doesn't matter.
I don't care. The idea where he was, there's probably a barber. Or he can go to a barber.
Sure.
My goodness. And there's a bunch of close-ups on his... side profile of his head, and one of the big strands will fall down.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think I've ever been as envious about anything.
All right, so
you
heard it here
Cooper's
first.
Hair.
You heard it here first. That is my goal. I probably got another, I don't know, I'd say 6 to 8 months before I have that.
You think it takes that
length
to get that length?
Let's see. I mean.
For you, it's the back. Like you need the back to grow so it can get, because you need to perfect
the little
how
flip.
It goes down, flip up a tiny bit, bit.
Which mine will do. It's just I had to get it cut recently because the top wasn't long enough to justify the long back yet. I had I was like tiptoeing around mullet territory, and I didn't want to dive right in. So I think the top has to get a little bit longer before I let the back grow a bit more.
Where did Annette fall on Bradley Cooper? Did she say anything after you guys left about Bradley Cooper in the movie? Like, hey, he looked good, or hey, he looks like an oily, greasy hobo?
No, not really.
Okay.
We can ask her to come down here and comment on it.
Sure. If she's not gone. Yeah. I'm just curious. I want to see where the stars of my inner circle align on the Bradley Cooper situation, with obviously no pressure. I would never want to talk to her again if she comes out and says he wasn't handsome. But
yeah, that would be a real first step in divorce.
Like, you got to go see a guy. Like, you're just having a meeting, right? Yeah. Nothing finalized, but you want to have a discussion about, what, Mr. Attorney, I'm sorry, I know this isn't the first one you've got of this, but she just doesn't think Bradley Cooper's super handsome. So
where do we stand legally?
And then he offers to take your case pro bono because of the absurdity of her stance.
Right. Well, I mean, it's going to be a class action type thing, because many other guys are gonna join in on this for similar situations.
Yeah, there's no question. So it was. I loved it. I enjoyed every moment of it. Well, shouldn't say enjoyed. Thought the movie was great.
Yeah, definitely gripped me.
So I would recommend anybody interested in that to go see it. It's weird to be in a spot now, and I've always been open about this, Steve. And that's a movie that if I'm 18 or whatever, I'm going. No way, man. That's a chick movie. I ain't seeing that.
Yeah.
Oh, Annette's here. Thank you, Annette, for coming down. We just have a very quick question for you. As you know, it was a hot topic of debate last week on the podcast. Where did you stand on the appearance of Bradley Cooper in A Star Is Born?
He's hot.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's all we needed. Yeah, that's the world. You're in the majority.
What'd you think of his hair?
Oh yeah. That's what. I'm sorry.
A little greasy.
But a little greasy.
What about like the length and the look of it?
The length.
Okay, Steve, you got to do it. Yeah, that's what we're doing. Steve's going to do it.
Yeah.
You have to grow out the back.
Yeah. We'll come back. We'll see you in April.
Okay.
And then
it's going to take a couple more months, but you're with me on this? You're on board for me with Bradley Cooper, A Star Is Born hair?
Oh, boy. That's some waffling.
Look at the smile, though.
I don't think she thinks you can do it. I think that's that look. So you're going to need, for like a week before we take the final photo of that, you're going to need to like wear a hat in the shower so it doesn't get wet, because you need to maintain the grease integrity.
Yeah. No. You can build up the grease even in the shower. You just can't wash it.
You could probably throw some oil in there, whatever. Even some hair gel to get that look, to make it look like always damp.
Look, I don't need to be instructed on how to make my hair look greasy.
You got it down?
This is something I've perfected over many years.
Okay. So, I'm excited. Next spring, Steve, Bradley Cooper hair. This is next spring we've got Bradley Cooper. Here's the thing. You plan it out right. You're wearing...
I know what you're going to say.
You're wearing Bradley Cooper hair to the Billboard unveiling.
Oh, boy.
In the middle of Ohio next spring.
Van Wert Cooper hair, here we come.
Van Wert, get ready, because whenever we're there, TBD, first quarter 2019,
a star is coming to town.
A star is coming to town, and that star is Steve's hair.
So if you'd like to get pictures with my hair, show up when we're there for the big Billboard reveal. By the way, still in progress.
Yeah. Important to mention.
We're making a point to mention it each week, just so it. I know there were like 2 weeks where we didn't mention it. We started getting tweets like, "Hey, what about this?" Still happening, 100% happening.
The onus is off of us at this point.
It seems like now that we've told the gentleman that
Senior Account Executive Joe,
it's going to be spring. I feel like we've fallen a little bit further down in his list of priorities, but
there's no question.
Still happening, 100%. And if it doesn't, everybody gets their money back. Like, it's just that.
Yeah, that's how it'll work. And
it's just that easy.
We'll make that happen, but I don't see any reason why it wouldn't happen. It's just not as aggressive of a timeline as initial.
It'll happen, but we digress.
Well, we needed to mention that.
To get pictures with my hair, my Bradley Cooper hair. It's going to be in the springtime. It's going to be magnificent.
Yeah.
I'm going to make sure that I don't wash it for a good week before we make the trip down to Van Wert, and people will come from far and wide to get pictures with it.
We could probably do throw a little tanner on your face, maybe pencil in some like cracks like Bradley Cooper, because he's 43.
Yeah.
You know, and or people we can set up like a booster stool, and they can stand on it so they line up with your hair. So the picture is just them, like smiling face, and then just you forehead up.
Yeah. Or I could stand backwards so you can just see the
back. Yeah. Well,
I love it, man. I can't wait to have that hair. It's going to be so sweet.
God, it looks so good.
I know.
So good. So yeah, I was chewing on that movie for a solid 24, 36 hours.
It was something.
That affected me, that it took me that long to comprehend and think about what I had seen. Which is a mark of a good movie.
Yeah.
So that's how you know.
Yeah, absolutely. It was I was again surprised by some things, but I'm happy if you plan on going to see this movie and you don't know what the plot lines for the previous versions of the movie are.
Yes.
It would be my recommendation not to do any research on it.
Yep.
Don't look it up.
Don't do it because like I said, the themes from the first three definitely parallel this one in the terms of the trajectory of the movie and the lead characters. So please go in as blind as possible if you want. And again, if you see it, I'd love to have these conversations on Twitter because I was so enamored with the movie that I love talking about it now. So please let us know if you see it. I'd love to have a conversation about it.
Yeah. You know what what else we have to talk about from A Star Is Born? The snack layout.
Oh yeah, you mentioned that. Yeah. Now, you had called my candy choice before I even
By the
went
way,
there.
We are 50 minutes into this episode already.
Well, 6 of it was trying to get Sarah's
That's
wrong
true.
phone number.
So probably
to work.
about 45 or so.
But, yeah, you had insulted Mike and Ike a couple of weeks ago, and in prior calling it a garbage candy and not worth.
Yeah.
And
Still,
you said you'd bring
they're poverty treats.
You said you were going to bring like a box of cookies and a granola bar or something like that, if I remember accurately.
M&M's.
Oh, peanut butter M&Ms.
Peanut butter
That's right.
M&Ms.
Peanut butter M&Ms.
Standing by that.
Oatmeal raisin fiber bar or something like that, I think is what you had said.
A Southwestern omelet.
And a gallon jug of water. Steve was prepared to live out 127 hours, but in a movie theater.
Yeah. So there was a lot of debate on which candies and treats would be bought for the movie. So you saw me and my wife show up, nothing in hand. You had our tickets. We bought a single bag of popcorn. Went into the movie, and I purposely did that because I wanted you to think like, oh, I guess they're not doing any. I guess they're just gonna do popcorn.
Well, that's insanity. I knew going in you weren't.
But then once we sat down, the pockets opened up. Mm-hmm. The M&Ms came out of one pocket.
Zip.
The Swedish fish for Annette came out of the other pocket. She opened up her purse. A drink. I had a Gatorade in there. She had I think a cherry Coke or something. And then we brought you a treat. And I'm curious to know what the status of this treat is because you have picked the worst candies in the world, Mike and Ike's. I'm surprised you didn't have what are the little purple and white pill things?
Good
and Plenty.
Oh, Good and Plenties are garbage.
They're terrible.
I agree with you.
They are. I mean. Mike and Ike's Good and Plenties, it's like 1 and 1A for the worst candy.
That's not even debatable. That is wildly incorrect.
So when
Mike and Ike is leagues superior than a Good and Plenty. Also, I put a Good and Plenty in the same category as what are those cinnamon things of garbage? Like
certs?
Yeah, I'm thinking of gum. Turns out that's what I'm thinking of. No, not Fireball, obviously, but there's like some hot candy, and then there's like a cinnamon. Either way, they're all in that category. Well above that.
Oh,
Mike and Ike.
Maybe we'll let a web poll determine that. But
how would we? Is a Mike and Ike a garbage candy? Yes or no?
Yeah.
Oh, you're so wrong. A Mike and Ike is delicious. All the variety. It's like a Skittle, but chewy.
Skittles are chewy.
Well, you get that hard outer crust, to get to the flavor.
Well, let me ask you, how happy were you with your Mike and Ike?
Steve, now this is a special situation. Now, I had these Mike and Ikes, and we brought them.
All right. Happy or sad? Must pick one. No further explanation.
We'll go with sad.
We'll get back to that. So when Annette and I were at the convenience store earlier buying our candies, because only an idiot would buy the candy at the movie theater where it's priced
$6.
I know.
You already paid out for the popcorn that I'm sure was affordable.
Yeah, very affordable. Very affordable. Well, put it this way. The 5 items that we bought at the convenience store for $9, I did the quick math. It would have been like $24.
There's no question.
Something.
No question.
So I'm standing by that decision.
Yep. And
Plus,
no regrets either. So don't try to shame me.
No.
I don't feel bad for the movie theater business charging more than $11 a ticket to see a movie now.
Don't care.
Yep.
It just doesn't bother me.
Nope.
So when we were at the convenience store, I said, we need to buy something for Kyle. We need to get him a candy.
Well, knowing how this turned out, now I'm even more offended.
And I wanted to buy you the most garbage candy I could find, so I considered Lifesavers, just the regular,
not the gummies,
not even the flavored ones, just the white ones, which are just like
mints.
Yeah, but and that's in air quotes because they have little to no taste. So I thought about that, and Annette said, no, we can't buy him that. So I was looking for any other candy. I also I considered just getting you some like beef jerky, but that would have been too good. I would have been jealous.
Yeah. Would have been passing that bag down the row.
Yeah. So we settled on the... I can't imagine... Oh, no, I also considered a bag of Werther's Original.
Oh, my God. So,
like butterscotch.
So your camps were either direct mints or senior citizen candies.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, I figure, sometimes you act a little older than you actually are.
And I say that knowing one of my best friends, Chris, who I visited a couple times, I yell at him all the time about this. He always eats Werther's. Like, are your teeth soft?
Yeah.
Are you that old?
Well, I mean, you have the Werther's Chewies, but you also have the Werther's Originals, the hard candy.
Yeah, the hard candy. Either, you know what? And I'll say this confidently, they both suck.
So we considered many different things. Finally, Annette made the final decision. We settled on a Charleston Chew for you.
Which I told you upon receiving, and this is a ways back, that name and that idea of that candy was the inspiration for the Lucky Billy.
Yeah.
Just based on that's a tier 5 candy. At best.
At best, yeah. And
that is a garbage.
I don't even know if it's top 10.
I don't know what I would compare to a Charleston Chew, like where you see it in the store. What else would you be? Oh, I could get a Charleston Chew, or I could get this.
Yeah.
Because I can't think of another candy that low that has still been around for that long.
Yeah.
Is that the only thing keeping, like, is there a factory in Charleston and that, like, the main employer?
No, I'm assuming they're made by one of the big ones. Like, they're made by Nestle or something. Or do you think are they a lone wolf?
They're
in the
holding
candy
on,
world?
like the Necco company,
Yeah.
making their chalky discs. So that is a flavored nougat covered in chocolate flavor coating, created in 1925 by the Fox Cross Candy Company. Boy, it just went away. Fox Cross Candy Company, founded by stage actor Donnelly Cross, and the candy was named for the Charleston, a popular dance. Somehow that thing's still around.
Yeah. All right. Well, it looks like white squares with chocolate on them.
So thank you so much for the gift.
So you ate the whole box?
Thank you.
Ate the whole box at the movie?
So much for the Charleston Chews.
Well, put it this way. When the movie ended and everyone's standing up to leave, and I said to you, don't forget your Charleston Chews, and you... Oh, jeez. Oh, no. And you had to, like, dig. Somehow they ended up... Gee, I can't imagine how, but they ended up about 2 seats down, like, stuffed into the cushion. And you had to play it up like, they must have just... Oopsie-doopsie.
Boy,
made it over there.
How could that have happened? I mean, the mystery will never be solved.
So, I have to ask you a question, and I need an honest answer.
Sure.
Did they make it back to your house?
They did.
Are they still in the house, not inside of a trash can?
They are. They, by victim of forgetting, they're in the exact same spot I set them on Friday night when we got home.
Probably right on the counter.
Right on the counter,
right
still in the shrink wrap, keeping their integrity.
Ooh,
so
boy.
safe to say next week, Steve, you and I going to be doing the Charleston as we gnaw on whatever those things are.
What are we seeing next week? Are we seeing?
No, I was just thinking here at the podcast. I'll bring them by.
Wasn't there? What was the other movie that you wanted to see?
I'm waiting for Halloween. That is less than 2 weeks away. That comes out Thursday, October 18th. Okay. So if my beautiful wife, would be so kind as to wait just 12 more days. Now I know the due date's in 4. I just need 12 days so I can see Halloween at 7 p.m. Thursday, October the 18th.
All right.
It's not a big deal.
Not too much to ask.
Sure, did I watch the original Halloween last night and get very nostalgic? And yeah, I mean, it's fine.
You know something? I think that your wife is kind of on that team too, though, because she had posted something the other day on Facebook saying,
I wanted to make it through the weekend.
Yeah, very nice post about how you're excited about the baby.
Yeah.
Baby's going to be here any day now. But then, so it was this nice gushy post like, oh, we can't wait to meet our little buddy. And
very nice. Made me tear up.
We're going to be a team of 3. Exactly. I read that and I was like, oh, that's wonderful. And then at the end, she said, like, that being said, we have a lot of plans this weekend. So
yeah, well, we had a little birthday shindig for my father, who's turning 60 the day this episode's releasing. Happy birthday to my dad. It's the man I look up to most in this world. It goes 1, 2, goes my dad, Bradley Cooper. That's not true. But turned 60. We had a little shindig for him.
It's close, though, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's 1A.
Where's your brother on that? This is
who was
Robert
what was the guy?
Robert the giraffe.
What was the guy who played Bradley Cooper's brother? Was that Christopher Lee?
Oh boy,
Sam
I don't know.
Lee. Not quite his level. I don't even know his name.
So somewhere around there.
Think of, like, in terms of people I look up to. There's a Lion. Brett Perriman was a Lions wide receiver in the 1990s. He was the guy I looked up to. So right below him. Mm-hmm. There's a running back. Touchdown Tommy Vardell took over for the Lions. He ran the football a lot. Right below that, probably. There's Vladimir Konstantinov, a red-winged defender, got injured in a car accident. Quadriplegic,
yeah.
Below that.
Now, are you talking pre-quad or post-quad?
Oh, post.
Post-quad, okay.
Who was the guy who played Rocky's trainer in the early Rocky movies?
Oh, Burgess Meredith?
Burgess Meredith, Mickey.
Yeah.
So below Burgess. Who's the guy who played the brother? Rocky.
Paulie?
Yeah, Paulie.
Oh, well, that was, what's her name? Adrian's brother. Yeah, so I forget what Paulie's name was.
So right there.
So somewhere in between Paulie and Mickey.
Somewhere between Paulie and Mick, below Brett Perriman.
Wait, we got to find out. Paulie from
still in the most recent movie.
Rocky.
Or was in Rocky Balboa. I don't know if he was in Creed. I should remember that. I saw the movie. He was definitely in Rocky Balboa, though.
Why is it not? Oh, Paulette. That's why. It's like, man, I thought that this would be first paid. Burt Young. Burt Young.
Burt. So that's okay. So that's where my brother will fall.
Yeah.
But yeah, happy birthday to my dad. Turned 60 the day this episode's released. Had a little get together for him. And so I think that post could be a bit amended to say that she is prepared this instant.
So it's go time. In her brain,
very, very
ready to go.
uncomfortable.
I can't blame her.
Back, we left that movie. She was in not great condition.
I did notice that it appeared as though she was shuffling around a bit in the seat, like obviously not being able to get completely comfortable. I can't imagine.
Her lower back really, really bothering her the last few days, having trouble getting rest and having trouble.
I mean, I can relate. I was bartended yesterday for a couple hours. And
Whoa!
My lower back's a little sore, so I basically know.
They not give you one of those cushy mats?
No. Oh yeah, there were.
Oh, they were, okay.
Yeah, but I mean, when you're working hard, it's basically like being 9 months pregnant.
Well, I've told her, within a 7-day span, I got 2 shots. So I know what labor's like.
Same thing.
I mean,
Same thing.
There's, we're in the know, Steve. All right, so women, I'm tired of hearing about it. But yeah, as we prepare, I wanted to mention quickly.
We still have to digress to get back to what
let's digress. Let's go back to point whatever we're at. Where were we?
We were still trying to get to this. We never did get to it.
Wow. So the candy layout. I had my Mike and Ike. You bought me a Charleston Chew, which just, I tell you, it slipped through that seat crack, and that's the only reason I didn't.
Yeah, 4 seats away and 2 rows back.
So the only reason I didn't chomp them down there at the movie. Now, were those individual bars in there, you think? Would it just be me?
I don't know.
Middle of this emotional moment, 2 characters crying all of a sudden.
Is it just a huge brick?
Yeah, is it just one? Yeah, is it like when you buy one of those $10 Hershey bars and it's just a brick of chocolate? I don't know. We'll find out next week on the podcast. If that's not a reason to tune in, I don't know if there is one.
Now, there also was a key moment when the preview started playing, and then you just heard a loud when I opened up Annette's drink, because she kind of nudged me. She's like, I'm going to open my drink. And I just looked at her. I was like, just do it.
Yeah. You got to break the seal on that. So, and during the preview is the best time. Best time. Mm-hmm. Only time to do it. If you do that minute 2, I don't care if they haven't even shown a character's face yet. I'm already mad at you.
Yeah.
Katie got really mad at the people behind us who showed up late, right at the end of the previews. So the movie started. And this, I think it was a family, 2 parents and 1 son. And they started... just chatting. Katie had to give him a very stern, now me, what I do, and this is my go-to, Steve, and I've perfected it over the years, is I give a 1 to 2 second too long stare. If I hear you chatting,
total turnaround,
and that's the thing. You can't just like corner of your eye. No, you need to move the arm, maybe back of the seat next to you, do a full turnaround, look. Make sure it's 1 to 2 seconds too long.
Okay.
So when you think, hey, I've seen these people talking, 1 beat, 2 beat, turn around.
I have a theory.
Okay.
Did you throw the Charleston Chew at them? Is that why it ended up a couple seats away?
Steve, I don't know the physics of that movie theater. I don't know how those things ended up where they ended up. Uh-huh. I mean, you know how things go. Slinkies, I mean, they go backward, forward, up, down, left, right.
So your defense for losing the Charleston Chew is that Slinkies work in weird ways.
Steve, have you ever been to like a mystery spot location where it's like it feels
cars,
like you're
cars
rolling
roll uphill?
That's all I'm saying is look what happened with the Charleston Chews. Maybe we were at one of those spots where it's like the beginning of a wormhole in the universe, and those Charleston Chews looked like, they moved backward.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
But so I have perfected
there's
that.
a black hole right there at that movie theater.
So I have perfected that over the years. What, you don't want to know what my wife has perfected?
What's that?
Shh! Shut up!
That happened?
I don't know if it was shut up, but it was a very loud...
I was literally sitting right next to her.
Yeah, it was a very loud either shush or be quiet.
Wait,
it was
so
one of those two.
So she must have turned...
She turned towards me.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was going to say,
Still kind of surprising that, being inches from your ear, you didn't
I didn't hear
that.
it.
Oh, really? Yeah.
And this was during the
start of the movie.
First
few minutes of the movie,
yeah,
they were
I think
still
once
chatting.
the movie started, I was
You're in
like...
the zone.
Yeah.
So,
Laser
that
vision.
was... So, you opened the drink. Again, perfect timing. She looked down. I think Annette looked down and thought, like, that bothered me. No, thank you. I appreciate you doing that, because as I talked about, that my biggest pet peeve is any portion during the movie and you have, like we talked about, guy with bag of Sun Chips. And it's just silence or crying on screen. You're wondering if the couple's going to make it or whatever. And all of a sudden... So, yeah, no, it went perfectly. So what candy did she have?
She had... What did she... Swedish fish.
Oh, that's right. I was going to say, knowing Annette's a wild lifestyle, I was thinking maybe like a sugar-free, like junior mint. Not chocolate-covered, just the mint part, sugar-free.
You'll go for and Annette's just got a bunch of asparagus.
Fresh off the grill, want some?
Where do you even get that?
out of the back pocket.
How did you do that?
And then like a cup of sparkling water. Because she likes the taste of the carbonation, but doesn't want you know any of the extra nonsense.
Yeah, so I'm glad that you enjoyed the Charleston Chews. But anyway, we had a debate a couple weeks ago about this whole movie candy
what we're bringing
debacle. I said I was bringing M&M's, the peanut butter flavor. You said you were bringing Mike and Ike's. I laughed at you. We tried to find common ground.
Yeah.
Meet in the middle on something. Bipartisan efforts.
Yep.
That did not work.
We ended up discussing at length the Kit Kat, which we
Kit
both
Kat,
agree is
fantastic.
a delicious candy.
Fantastic candy. But then the debate raged on about, of course, this was a debate, whether it was a candy bar or not. You said yes. I said no. I think that if you look at a Kit Kat bar wrapper, it doesn't actually... Kit Kat. I don't think it actually says candy bar, which...
Still defending that, huh?
Well, it says it's crisp wafers. They're not, like... I don't know. I think a candy bar has to be thicker. It has to be one piece.
It's right in the song, break me off a piece of that Kit Kat bar.
Right, well,
so now it has to be one piece now. Boy,
yeah,
there's a lot of prerequisites to be called a candy bar in Steve's universe.
Like I said, I look to our Lord and Savior, the Lucky Billy. Like, this is what I consider a candy bar. This is candy bar shape. This is, the Lucky Billy, the Snickers, the Three Musketeers, the Milky Way. Mm-hmm. They're all that bar shape. So of course we had to post up on Facebook and Twitter: is the candy bar, or is the Kit Kat bar a candy bar?
Oh, that's right. Oh, I have those results. I did write them down. We just never got to it.
Oh, good.
How do you think it broke?
Well, I know. I know that it didn't go well for Team Not a Candy Bar.
92%, Steve, called the Kit Kat a candy bar. Facebook was aflutter with your idiocy. I believe the one thing that you even told me really devastated you and your argument was somebody's comment. I forget. I apologize for forgetting who wrote it. Was if not a candy bar, what is it?
Yeah, they said if the Kit Kat bar is not a candy bar, what is it? And I didn't have a good response to that. So I congratulate you on your one victory.
That's my second victory. Thank you very much. They're rolling in now between the Kit Kat bar, the Bradley Cooper being handsome.
Yeah, but that one we were in agreement. I'm just talking. We were on the same page. On that was one. More. I don't want anyone thinking that I don't think that Bradley Cooper is a dreamboat.
Apologize for painting you in that light. Never meant that was more of an anti-Sarah Frenchie Toasty vote.
Yeah.
Than Look, anti either of us.
I'm growing Bradley Cooper hair.
Yeah, and I will be lucky to do this podcast because I'll have to peel a net off of you.
Yeah, that's right.
Like wake.
You heard her. Like you saw the look on her face when I said I was going to grow Bradley Cooper hair.
Yeah, I mean, to me that looked like more disbelief that you couldn't do it, but I get where you're coming from.
Hey, I'm going to prove you wrong, woman.
There was no hesitation either when we asked her. Like, she didn't use the word handsome, Steve. We're being cordial.
Yeah.
We're grown adults. She skipped right past that.
Yeah.
Went to hot.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, it's hard to argue. It's a good-looking dude.
Yeah.
Good-looking dude.
So congratulations on your Kit Kat bar victory.
Yeah, I apologize. I still don't know what you're getting at. I think the way we were going to describe it, if not a candy bar, would be a cookie wafer chocolate cookie wafer.
Wafer crisp?
Yeah, a wafer crisp. Yeah, let's go with that. Much easier to write on a package.
Break me off a piece of that wafer crisp.
Hey! I mean, you don't get the name Kit Kat in there.
Sure. I mean, the people in the marketing department may not be happy with that you have a commercial and a jingle that doesn't actually say what the name of your... Hey, I propose renaming the product altogether.
Yeah.
Wafer crisp.
The wafer crisp. Boy, if there's one thing to bring in, kids and people buying candy... It's not with a flashy name or a nice description. It's by replacing the entire label with the words wafer crisp.
Yeah. Works out well. So.
Beautiful. One thing I did want to get to before we get to the Fast Five.
Yeah, because I know we're doing brisk 90 today.
Yeah, and it's still going to go 2 hours. we've talked about a lot on this podcast, the DIY successes and failures, Steve, and you'd said last week you'd been on a bit of a down...
I think
you turned it around.
Yeah.
You fixed your water disaster.
Well, not without incident.
Fixed the water disaster in the fridge.
Had to call upon Cy Nolan Ryan Young.
Oh, no.
In a moment of weakness.
Did you need someone to pitch a softball?
No, I needed a second set of hands because I was installing a valve. Had to cut a small section out of pipe. Cut that small section out. Well, first I turned off the water to the house.
Okay.
Went to the lowest point in the house where there's a water valve. There used to be a washer and dryer in the basement. So I opened that. I figure that drains all the water out of the system. So when I go to cut that pipe, no problem. I drained nearly 5 gallons of water out of the system and cut that pipe. And there was still some water pouring out of it. And just kept pouring out of it. Kept going. Water all over the floor. I cut that pipe. I went to put the valve in. I couldn't separate the pipes enough to get the valve in, so I had to call on our buddy Cy. Came down here. 1 minute. He was grabbed onto the pipe, shifted it. Everything's good.
Thought maybe you needed him to, throw some warm-up pitches.
No. That was not needed. His arm was not required for this. But yeah, so we got... Now, I mean, you saw before we started recording,
yes.
I went over and I filled up my cup in 10 seconds, whereas last week that was a task that took nearly a minute to do. So we're good. No leaks.
Got the water all fixed.
I'm checking that pipe every 6 hours to make sure there's no water leaking out of it.
I noticed you filled your cup and immediately went downstairs and opened the door to see if it was leaking.
Yeah.
So
yeah, well, that is...
So you're good till the afternoon to check?
That'll happen. Yeah, that'll happen...
Want to go check?
Probably. No, I think
good?
I think we're all right. Yeah, that'll happen for the next month or so. I'll check that thing numerous times every day.
Oh, somehow it'll freeze in the middle of winter, and next
even though
you'll have
like it couldn't be more inside.
Yeah,
of the,
next
the
thing you know,
house.
you'll have an ice dam inside your house. I don't know how those work. You had it at your house, but I'm assuming it's how it works.
Yeah.
You pour too much water or something.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
just like
I'll
that.
just get my flamethrower out that I bought to melt the ice dams at my old house. That was a bad move.
But hey, you're back on the winning side of things.
That's right.
So good looking up for you.
Yeah,
after a depressing streak of 2.
Yeah, it was bad for a while.
Well,
we're back though.
Well, Steve, I'm on a hot streak. I told you I'd been cruising for a while, been hanging stuff, doing things. Now, not cutting pipes and doing all that stuff, but
well, that's reserved for us.
I don't know,
experts.
I don't know if you heard. I built a bookcase.
Oh yeah, I did. Heard that a time or two.
Beautiful, beautiful bookcase. Spans the wall of my basement. Painted, beautiful, looks great.
Mm-hmm. That's for all your movies.
Yep, movies and books go on there. Looks gorgeous. So the most recent adventure, obviously getting the nursery ready, the baby's room, and hanging some stuff. I told you, as we talked about the disaster less than 6 months ago or 7 months ago of trying to hang a towel rod. I don't even remember. It was like 6 hours, something silly.
And we were supposed to hang out that night too. I forget what we were supposed to do.
Yeah, you were doing something.
You ended up being like 2 hours late.
Oh, it was awful. Just awful. I'm sure I was sweaty, filled with drywall or grout everywhere.
I don't remember what we were actually doing.
Oh, we went down. We were at a bar. Bob was in town because you were also. Yep.
Yeah, working on that was Jeep weekend.
Yep.
Jeep end.
And. Oh. Second time today, Steve, you just grabbed your microphone and with almost zero resistance, it fully removed itself from the table.
All right, you keep telling your story. I'm just going to be over here working on this.
You go ahead and wrench away their DIY, Steve. So it's about that time where we're hanging stuff in the baby's room, decorations and some practical, like one shelf, couple decorations, things getting ready, the final touches, if you will, in the baby's room before he's born in the next week or two. So or
day or two.
Or a day or two, let's say week or two. And one of the things I hung up was a shelf. And I meant to text Steve, but instead I just posted it to our social media in a momentous moment of pride for me, Steve, and everybody. I got the shelf up first try, nailed it. I had a picture taken. For whatever reason, it didn't save. That's the reason I didn't send it to Steve, was the shelf with the level on it that I wanted to send to Steve to show. Nailed it. First try.
So it was level.
Beautiful. Level and...
Total time investment.
In that?
Start to finish, from the time you said, time to hang that shelf, to the time you walked out of the room and shut the door, everything's cleaned up.
Well, it was less than a Katie shower.
Whoa.
Yeah. Less than 10 minutes, Steve.
Whoa.
I'm thinking about starting my own YouTube show.
Okay.
Of, like, shelves hanging. And this wasn't just, stud to stud. You throw a wall anchor in there.
Really? Yeah, now, did you hit one of the studs? Like a stud on one end?
Obviously, you're looking for security. We hit one stud. Absolutely. One stud, one wall anchor. Went to the other side of the room, a different wall. Had a big piece of wall that I received as a gift. It's a Spider-Man wood piece of work, and it's got a bunch of individual panels of different comic book covers. Wanted to hang it in his room. Heavy. Because a lot of times with pictures and light stuff, I use like command strips.
Yeah.
Don't have to put anything in the wall, peel it off. I tried that in the basement, had like 5 of them on there. Would keep falling off and coming off. No way, man. Going right into the wall.
D.I. Kyle?
Found 0 studs because I wanted to do in the middle of that wall.
Yeah.
I didn't want it to look stupid with the door open or door closed being way off center. So decided, you know what? Gonna throw a couple anchors in there. 4 minutes. Level. Gorgeous. Hanging. Level with the closet door.
Whoa.
Inches away from it.
Wow.
2 for 2. Thank you. For a lot of people, they're thinking it can never be done. Hanging things? Level?
Yeah.
I'm here to tell you.
What does that even mean?
I'm here to tell you. It's possible, and you can do it with a little bit of shame from your podcast partner and friend and from the internet. With a little bit of shame, you too can do things correctly. So what I'm on a hot streak, Steve.
So basically, what you're saying is that
if I can change, and you can change, everybody can
hang
change.
pictures. Once again, that's
if I can change,
hang pictures,
and you can
hang
change.
pictures,
Everybody can
hang
change.
pictures.
Thank you, Rocky.
Listen, boy, it's like there's a Rocky sound for everything. Rocky heavy show today. Didn't expect that.
I know.
Did not expect that. So I'm riding a hot streak, Steve. I'm 2 for 2. What do you think I decide to do?
If I was you, I would have quit. 2 for 2. You're batting 1,000.
Come on. What's going to stop this train? 3 for 3, baby. Let's do it. So we have a piece of artwork. Now, we haven't announced our upcoming son's name to anybody. We know it, obviously. And we ordered from Etsy a unique piece of artwork to hang over his crib. But we can't hang it up because people coming over has his name on it. But nobody's home. Say, let's pull it out, see where we want it on the wall.
Maybe put the hooks in the wall.
Hang the screws. Put the screws in the wall. What do you think happens? We're middle of the crib where we want it to be. What are we staring at, Steve? No studs.
No studs, yeah.
Just did one.
That's all right.
Who cares?
Oh, there's a stud, all right. His name's Kyle.
It's D.I. Kyle. So I slap.
By the way, if you pronounce that, if you don't pronounce D.I., it just sounds like Dick Kyle. I don't know if you thought about that before you came up with your new alter ego.
Well, you've got to pronounce
YouTube
it. That's
sensation name.
You've got to pronounce it. I mean, that's not my fault. Sure, is it a byproduct that I might be getting called Dick Kyle?
Surely not the first time.
No, and definitely not the last. So D.I. Kyle, back at it, decides to go for 3 for 3, finds, slaps an anchor in, boom, beautifully. Go, measure, it's got to be 14 inches level. What am I, a first timer? No, I've done it twice in a matter of minutes.
Wait, is Katie still? So she hasn't even.
No, she's out of the shower now. Now so she's in the room.
She's already aware of 1 and 2 being a success.
Yep. Now she's in the room watching, assisting. So the pressure's on. Go 14 inches across.
So you're no doubt now that you got an audience, sweating a bit.
Yeah, but I'm so confident.
Yeah.
Like that shelf's up there, and I think I may even left the level up there just to make everybody recognize that thing's level.
You should just go out and buy levels.
Yeah, leave them on everything.
Buy about a dozen of them. Every shelf you hang up, anything you put up, just leave a level on there.
One jerk comes over, is that level? Go check the level hanging on it. Obviously, you idiot. So, 14 inches across, mark it with a pencil. Level. Gonna go zip the anchor in there. You know, you're supposed to drill a pilot hole, Steve. As you know, you're DIY Steve. You fixed your water. Drill a pilot hole. Pound the anchor in there. Is a question for you.
Yeah.
When you put the anchor in and you start drilling the screw into the anchor.
Yeah.
Is it supposed to go all the way through the drywall and fall to the back?
No, I don't think so. I think that would render that one useless.
So then, would you listen? Not the first time I've done this. So what do you do? I went downstairs. I got a bigger anchor.
Yeah, because it seems like you probably drilled the pilot hole a little too big.
Maybe not enough wall around the anchor to support the pressure. Yeah,
normally it's just knowing from having done this a million times. Typically, it's a 1/4-inch hole. Mm-hmm. Then you'll have to like tap that.
Yeah, get hit with a hammer.
The anchor in there, and it fits in pretty. At first,
tight.
You look at it and you're like, "There's no way this is going to fit."
Yeah, a little snug.
Put it in there, but yeah, so you probably drilled it a bit too big. But yeah,
no problem.
Jump up to the next size anchor.
No problem.
Yeah, I mean, you're going to be. Those things will hold like 60 pounds.
Yeah,
so chances are
weight's not the problem, right?
Yeah.
Put it on there. Put the bigger anchor in. This is a different type of anchor. I think that has part of the reason here. To zip the screw in there all the way through the wall. So
now you have a bigger hole in the wall.
I have one screw in,
anchor,
and then exactly 14 inches away from that level is a 1/2 inch hole in the wall. My freshly painted nursery.
Yeah.
And what Dick Kyle hasn't learned yet. How to fix a hole in the wall like that?
Oh yeah, because that requires now you gotta get some compound, get some spackle.
Oh no, we just called someone.
You gotta spackle that.
Nope, called someone.
Then you gotta sand it.
I hear you. I'm telling you.
A little primer.
Yeah, okay.
And then paint, but you have to hope that the paint is gonna match. Even though you just painted that room, weeks ago?
Yeah, called someone.
Who'd you call?
My uncle, who painted the room. He's coming over tomorrow or today. Yeah.
Now, why wouldn't you just go an inch above it?
Because then I'm just adding holes, and I don't want to take out the one anchor I already did.
Oh boy, you're flirting with disaster. Then.
Or here, what should I do? This should I just pound that one through, and then just go with like a 1-inch anchor?
What's going to happen is he's going to fill that hole, and then you're going to try to drill into it again.
No, I'm just going to ask him to do it.
Okay, because it's not going to work though.
You don't think so?
No, because if you try to drill into it, it's going to crumble all of it.
So you're telling me I'm going to have to move it anyway?
I think so.
But this is devastating news.
Yeah. Do you have the option to go like a little further to the side?
Oh, absolutely, because the crib's not stuck in the one spot. I just, it's general center of the crib. Yeah. But if I go off to the side of either of them, you're going to see a hole, unless I go up or down, or up.
I think you got to go up. I think you take the other one out, knock it through the wall, have him patch that one too, and then you start fresh.
Oh, boy, let me tell you this much. I don't want to do that.
Yeah, well.
But you're telling me I should.
What about if you go like a little angle?
Oh,
like an old MySpace photo.
Yeah, now you're talking. Yeah, well, it's the way, you see kids or people taking like Snapchat or like, what do they call those? Boomerangs.
Yeah.
Boomerangs, where it's like, hey, start at a 70-degree angle and then give everybody a case of motion sickness in 1 second by going, huh! And so when you watch the video on a loop, it's just like, it's like you're on that pirate ship ride at the carnival that just swings back and forth.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, that's in the cards. Boy, maybe I'll just knock it through the wall.
Yeah.
Or I could pull this one out because it's.
Yeah.
You don't think I could unscrew it or pull it out with pliers?
Take the screw out almost all the way, and then hit the head of the screw with a hammer, and it'll pop it right through.
You really don't think I could just pull it out with pliers?
Maybe you could.
I'll report back. Worst case scenario, I've got just a 14-inch hole in the wall.
Yeah.
as I, essentially just decided to rip it all out for some reason.
Yeah.
Couldn't
So
go.
you're 2 for 3? Still gets you in the Hall of Fame.
Man, the streak, though, it was cruising. I had been on a high, and then this disaster happens. I should have just stopped. We didn't need to. This is literally a placeholder for when we do hang the sign for his name over his crib. I didn't need to do it.
How heavy is that sign?
2 pounds, 3 pounds.
And you don't think the command strips wouldn't work?
I don't think so. I don't.
Plus, it's hanging right over the crib. You don't want that thing to fall off the wall.
Maybe I will try a command strip, though, because, maybe it will work. What's it hurt to try it?
Yeah.
Here's a question. Do you have any command strips? Definitely use the rest of mine.
I might, yeah. I might have a few.
I'll have to take a look. But, we got the monitor hung up in the right spot. Ran the cord down the... Beautiful. All set.
Boy, you're ready.
Yeah.
Dick Kyle is ready.
Dick Kyle is ready for his son. It's time. 12 days. Sorry, 10 days from listening to this.
Okay, so
10 and a half.
Due date's what, 4 days?
The 11th, yep.
I think your baby's coming tomorrow.
Whoa, Steve's in.
I got the...
Before this episode even is released.
Yeah.
You're saying October the 8th is going to be the birth.
Yep.
Now, we've talked about this. You'll be getting a text yourself before anything's posted on social media.
Okay.
Is that just family exclusive and close friends that you think get the notification before social media at this day and age?
Yeah, I think so. I don't know. Everyone does it differently. There are some people who are like, hey, we just had a baby 2 minutes ago.
Yeah, here's a picture. Yeah, she's still bleeding. I'm sure she'll be fine.
Yeah. No big deal.
But yeah, I think there's a number of people that you should let know before social media. But then once you think about that, well, then some people, if they take it to heart, like, oh, well, it wasn't on the list enough to get a message before the world.
Who cares?
Yeah,
I think
who cares? I mean, you made it pretty clear you would.
Well, I mean, I would care.
Yeah, I'd be offended. But
other
than that, who?
Yeah, after me, I don't care because
fair. That's very fair.
Yeah, I'm important to me.
That's it, man. It's this week. It's very close.
Tomorrow, that baby will be here tomorrow.
I'm still terrified.
Baby will be here tomorrow. You guys will be home with the baby before the baby's due date.
I am.
Have you thought about that? Have you thought about how you could be a father by the end of today?
No, and I refuse to.
Every day you should be waking up thinking, I could be a father by dinner time.
No, I refuse to. The Lions are on today.
That's true. Yeah,
big day.
Yeah.
Speaking of which, we got to roll.
Yeah, we do. Looks like it's time for...
Fast 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Boy, I woke up this morning and did a Fast 5 and don't remember what any of them are.
Ooh, that's kind of exciting, though.
Yeah.
Don't know what we're going to talk about. You want me to lead off or you?
No, I'll still lead off. No, actually, you lead
I'll lead off. Okay. Big, important. WWE Super Showdown.
Oh, boy. I can't believe what Mankind did.
See, I guess we'll come back to it and figure out. Boy, you must have some news for me.
Yeah.
The MLB playoffs. Exciting.
Okay, someone has to explain to me how the Cubs went from having the best record in the National League to being eliminated from the playoffs, because that didn't work out how I thought it worked out. Maybe we'll have to explain that on the...
I don't know. Yeah. We'll have to come back to that. A Star is Born.
Fantastic. Go out and see it today. I might see it again.
I thought, we'll come back to it, but I have thoughts on that as well, because that's a movie I'd normally look at and go, repeat viewing.
Yeah.
Khabib versus McGregor.
I heard it turned into a bit of a mess after that fight.
You didn't stay up and watch, huh?
I did not stay up and watch.
Like
I know Khabib won.
Yep.
Spoiler alert if you haven't watched it yet.
By Tuesday.
Yeah.
Or later. Insanity. Just nuts to watch that. We'll come back and detail that as well. And lastly, the NHL season snuck up. NHL season puck drops this past week.
Yeah, I like hockey season. It's I don't know. I like the fall, so it's you hear that?
Ooh, boy, it's gonna be hard to find that timestamp with the phone number disaster from earlier. But
yeah, maybe right at the beginning of the Fast Five, it should be easy to find.
But yeah, I did. Here, I'll tell you this.
You're right. It did kind of sneak up. I'm excited. I like hockey season. I think the talk of the league so far has to be gritty.
Yeah, the new Flyers mascot. Which is horrifying children and adults alike. I'll say this. The only reason I knew the season started this week was because our friend Jake, who plays on our softball team, tweets incessantly about the dumbest stuff ever.
Poor Jake.
Regarding hockey, boy, I'm going to miss that kid. I love playing softball with him. He's a joy to be around. One of the
good man.
Legitimately, and I'm not saying this just because I know he listens and we play. Legitimately, one of the nicest people I have ever met. Jake is a delight, and you all need to follow him on Twitter and social media. He is the nicest kid ever.
My new favorite thing about Jake is whenever, during our softball games, whenever you manage to get on base, due to your lightning speed, Jake takes credit for it and refers to himself as your running coach.
He is my running coach. He is. I talked about it. I've had issues. Like my shins, and it's I don't think it's directly related to the Achilles, but it's since that injury because it didn't feel like this last year before the injury and practices and everything. Running in these cleats, like even running down to first base and around, my shins start hurting really, really bad.
Do you think maybe it's your cleats?
Is it just cleats in general?
I don't know. Well, you have those gold.
Oh, how dare you dog the golden cleats? The golden cleats of speed?
What are they called? Weren't they called? Weren't they like Dada's or something?
Oh, no. That was my old chrome silver shoes.
Oh, okay.
Those are the Dada Supremes, which every kid from the 90s and early 2000s will remember.
Like 20
Dada.
Years old?
Oh, they're from the early 2000s. I still have them because they're, again, chrome. But yeah, Jake, I talked to Jake about it, and he gave me suggestions to lengthen the stride. And so, haven't had shin pain since then. Beat out an infield grounder this past week.
You did.
Look, the only time I was on base. But Jake is my self-anointed running coach.
Yeah.
So Jake tweets a lot about the NHL season. He's a big fan of our Detroit Red Wings and the prospects in the pipeline of the Detroit Red Wings. Was able to pick his brain this last week as a hockey amateur. Safe to say I'm not up on the lingo and how hockey works and if a kid's good or not good.
Slap shot.
Yeah. But definitely, started this week. Do you know, is there a favorite? Who won the Stanley Cup last year?
Well, I know who didn't win the Stanley Cup. I know it was the Vegas Golden Knights.
It was the Capitals.
Yeah,
Alexander Ovechkin spent the entire summer drinking and yelling into microphones.
I know. I love that guy.
So, that's the only reason I know. But, the NHL season kicked off. Before that, I had this on the Fast Five beforehand. But my goodness, Khabib Nurmagomedov. You
had it right the first time.
Nurmagomedov.
Will you let me get through it one?
Do it.
Nurmagomedov.
Okay, this is it. You got it right here. Nail it.
Okay, you're just gonna sit back
and away. Nail the dismount.
Nurmagomedov.
Nurmagomedov. Khabib versus McGregor last night, Saturday night. Being regarded as it'll probably be the most purchased UFC pay-per-view in history.
Really?
Dana White. Now, granted, Dana White's a little bit biased. Estimating 4 to 5 million pay-per-view buys.
Wow.
Which I think is probably 2 million more than what actually bought that pay-per-view last night.
Really? You think so?
UFC is still quite a limited. I mean, boxing has the history around it, so I think you get a lot more casual buys from boxing. People saying like, "Oh, this historic fight and whatever." That UFC still, to a lot of people, it's still, back alley.
It's not
bare knuckle fighting. Okay. It's still not legal,
which is ridiculous. It's $1 billion industry.
Absurd. It's still not legal in some states, so I think you're still limited in scope in terms of who's going to buy a UFC. But so this fight, very anticipated. McGregor, a 2-year layoff ever since his Floyd Mayweather fight where he was beat by Floyd Mayweather in a boxing ring.
That wasn't 2 years ago, was it?
2016. August of 2016.
What?
Insane. Or wait, maybe I'm crazy.
No, I thought it was
August of 2017?
2017,
That's more accurate. So he hasn't been in the octagon in 2 years.
Okay.
So back against, pound for pound, what people regard as one of the best fighters on the planet, Khabib
Nurmagomedov.
Nailed it. And this was contentious. So last year, Conor McGregor threw the dolly into the tour bus that Khabib was on and his team.
Which seemed very WWE.
Very much. And apparently that was in retaliation. Somebody that Khabib knew slapped somebody that Conor McGregor knew. So it's a mix of WWE and Days of Our Lives.
Yeah.
Right?
Very soap opera.
Because if somebody, like, let's say, sure, it's a friend, right? But let's call it like if you were to make a list of people you're going to bring on tour with you, either a fighter or a musician, let's call them 8th down the line. Mm-hmm. And somebody that you don't know and have never really interacted with, the 8th person down their line slapped the 8th person in your line.
Yeah.
How upset are you?
I'm probably going to say, who?
Right.
Who hit who?
My hair guy?
All right. Well,
got slapped by their guitar guy?
Their hair guy?
Yeah. Like,
we got a hair guy fight?
But Conor apparently was not going to stand for it. And threw the dolly into the tour bus, ended up getting a pay-per-view canceled because there were some injured fighters. There's now lawsuits going on. He was arrested and charged, and by unanimous agreement, given a way light sentence because he's Conor McGregor, and superstars and celebrities are treated different in life.
Yeah.
I think we can all agree.
Yes.
So that led to this fight this year where the press conferences and all the buildup has been insanely contentious. Families brought into it. Khabib staying mostly quiet regarding this, but Conor McGregor pulling no punches, saying his dad was a terrorist. Khabib's dad was a terrorist.
Okay.
Pulled off a flight on 9/11, etc.
Is that true?
No idea. No idea. Safe to say, Khabib's dad, probably not a terrorist.
Yeah.
Probably shouldn't be saying that.
Yeah.
And again, Khabib internalized it all. So this fight happens, and you can tell there's no touching of the gloves. That's not going to happen. Now, this has happened before, though. Even McGregor, it's a little bit of the Floyd Mayweather syndrome. It's all this build-up to the fight. Now, granted, Floyd Mayweather kind of has never called someone's dad a terrorist, to my recollection. They're selling a fight.
Wouldn't really put it past him.
Right, but they're selling a fight.
Let's not try to paint Floyd Mayweather into being a good guy.
No, but what I mean is overall, like, Floyd will do that to sell his boxing matches in the past, but then after the match, the first person he goes to is the other opponent that he has just beat, and he spends time on the mic saying, hey, he's a great opponent, and he put up a good whatever.
Yeah.
Because I think more for him than most, he was selling a fight.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Conor did that, and I think Conor probably thought that's what he was doing. But I think maybe he took it a step too far.
Yeah.
So there's no touching of the gloves. After every round, Khabib has to be pulled away by the ref to, getting yelling at Conor after every round. How many
rounds did this go?
It was in the 4th round.
Okay.
So after 3 rounds, he has to be pulled apart.
Was it obvious
Khabib was winning. Yeah. There's no question. Khabib was winning. He was taking down Conor, beating him up on the ground. There was one point in the 2nd round where Conor was getting pounded on. Conor's eye was swollen. It was he just was getting taken to the ground. He was getting beat by a better opponent. Mm-hmm. I mean, for as much of a showman as Conor McGregor is, he's probably not the greatest UFC fighter like his fans like to think he is.
Right.
So middle of the 4th round, something happens and Conor is on the ground, ends up giving up his back, which in MMA terms is the worst thing you can do ever. He rolls over, gives up the back, ended up tapping out by what is referred to as a neck crank. So he didn't have the actual throat to choke him out. He had the bottom of his chin pulling it down and off to the side. Yeah. Conor tapped out. Khabib held the hold about 2 seconds too long.
Yeah.
Is pulled away by the ref, immediately starts circling the octagon, yelling at Conor McGregor's team outside the octagon and teammate. Khabib goes insane. Jumps the top of the octagon, goes into the crowd, starts swinging punches. People are hitting him. Khabib's team starts coming into the octagon. Some guy, you have to pull up the footage, Steve. There's videos of this everywhere. Jumps into the octagon from the outside, and McGregor just standing there against, to Conor's credit, never once gets involved.
Yeah.
This guy comes in, jumps the side, punches McGregor in the side of the sucker punch in the side of the. It's the most insane scene I've ever. I'm watching this and I'm yelling like, "Holy yes! What's happening? This is insane!"
Right.
80 cops, and they're trying to peel McGregor and his team away. They end up having to take McGregor and his team out separately. Khabib wants his belt in the octagon. Dana White's like, I'm not giving you the belt right now. I don't know if you're going to get the belt. And if I put the belt on you in this arena, the fans might, hurt you.
It's
going to break bad. And still, so they pull Khabib. Oh, it's just insane. I've never seen anything like it. Not just wrestling, nothing like. I mean, this. There's no chance this was a setup, like a work is what it's called.
Yeah,
this was insanity. Now Khabib, Russian, here on a work visa, and I don't know how that works, but a lot of talk after the fight by the commentators. There's a good chance he's going to get that pulled. He won't be able to fight here. Criminal charges because he jumped the octagon. That's assault outside of the octagon by punching and attacking somebody. The most absurd scene I've ever seen. Which, Steve, you and I talked about it. We'll see the rematch. We'll see that footage in 6 months when they fight again.
Yeah, exactly. That's
the way it works.
Yeah, Dana White, he'll if he hasn't already, he'll no doubt have a press conference saying, absolutely unacceptable what Khabib did. Terrible. Yeah. He's probably going to get suspended for a long time if he ever fights in the UFC again.
We might cut the greatest
he
fighter.
Might be gone forever. There's not a chance that we will bring him back to make millions and millions of dollars off of him in just months.
There's punishments here, and somebody must pay the price for this egregious act.
Yeah.
So, we'll see that rematch in less than a year.
Yeah, look forward to it.
Before that, A Star Is Born. We talked about it at length. Loved it. Glad you're on board.
Yeah.
I tried to wait to get your opinion. I kind of thought that you enjoyed it and thought it was a good movie. Yeah. We talked about that at length here this episode.
Team Mini Cooper.
Team Mini Cooper. Oh, yeah. Absolutely. A lieutenant in the Cooper Army. Before that, the MLB playoffs. So, you were mentioning the Cubs, so I pulled up the standings. Here's what happened. Now, Major League Baseball a couple of years ago expanded to add a second wild card team. It used to be one wild card team.
Yeah.
So it would be, 4 division winners and then 1 wild card. Nope. What they have now is 4 division winners, 2 wild card teams.
Sure.
Sorry, 3 division winners, 2 wild card teams.
Okay.
So the 2 wild card teams play in a 1-game playoff. The winner of that goes on in the round to the next round of 5. What happened in the National League this year was the Chicago Cubs finished with 95 wins, 68 losses. The Milwaukee Brewers, 96 wins, 67 losses. So even though the Cubs were only a game behind, they were the wild card. So they were in a 1-game playoff against the Colorado Rockies, who won 91 games. Colorado Rockies won.
That's
so the
insane.
Cubs bounced. Well, what's worse is the American League, where the Boston Red Sox won 108 games, Houston Astros won 103 games, New York Yankees won 100 games, Oakland 97. Oakland bounced in a 1-game playoff, even though Oakland won more games than every team in the National League.
Oh, that's crazy.
So, the Major League Baseball playoffs, obviously the big series, everybody talking about New York Yankees, Boston Red Sox, because that's the most storied rivalry in baseball. Yeah. And got off to a 1-1 start. That series looking to go 5 games. Fenway Park going crazy last night.
Sure.
Their $230 million pitcher, David Price, did not make it out of the second inning.
Yeah, I heard he's not doing so well.
And he's a very sensitive man. He was in the news for arguing and getting really, really mad at Dennis Eckersley, who is one of the commentators for radio or TV.
Yeah, he played for the A's.
Yeah. Hall of Famer.
Yeah.
And he had some things to say about David Price not pitching well. Well, David Price got all upset about it, and they had a big tiff that had to be ironed out. So I imagine him getting booed off the mound in the second inning by his home fans last night is not sitting well with him today.
Probably not.
But his playoff record, he has like a 7+ ERA. He's really bad.
Not good.
So, I love the play. I'm not a baseball guy if my team's not in it. I love the playoffs.
It's the only time I'll watch a game.
It's exciting.
Yeah.
The only problem is they still take 4 hours a game.
What happened when a couple of years ago they said, we're going to speed up baseball, and they got the pitch clock in there?
That's going to be a major labor argument going forward because...
do you think do the players like it?
No. That's the thing.
Okay.
Major League Baseball wants to institute a pitch clock and other rules. Technically, you're not allowed to step out of the batter's box if you don't swing. Well, last night, JD Martinez took a ball and walked 8 feet out of the batter's box, and it was a minute before the next pitch.
Yeah.
It's just, it's hard to watch unless you're invested. And I'm not invested, but I like sports, and I love the aura of these October baseball games, and it's I love it. I love it, but I can see how it turns off regular fans because it's 4 hours long.
It takes way too long.
Before that, Steve, I know you were up yesterday morning. WWE Super Showdown, a pay-per-view in the great country of Australia. A lot of big matchups going on. The Shield versus the Dogs. Yesterday morning, 5 a.m.
Oh, boy.
The Shield versus the Dogs of War. Big matchup, 6-man tag. You had The Undertaker versus Triple H. Last time ever, Steve. You were there. You had the Iconics, the hometown heroes. The Iconics. It's Billy Kay and Peyton Royce. Asuka. You didn't watch?
No, I wasn't there. I was not there to watch that.
At 5 a.m. watching yesterday.
I did not watch that. Okay, first on my Fast Five.
Who'd you have in your fantasy draft? Dogs of War versus the Shield.
Is Born.
Loved it, Steve. Loved it. Can't give it enough raves.
Okay, next, Khabib Nurmagomedov.
Oh, come on, get it. Nurma, or is it Nurma or Nurga?
Nurmagomedov.
That's where I get caught up. Nurma.
Yeah, Nurma.
Now that I know it's Nurma, like Norma, it's going to be Nurmagomedov. Nurmagomedov. Khabib Nurmagomedov.
And Conor McGregor.
The most insane scene I've ever seen in a professional sport, ever.
Okay, next, Kanye West on SNL.
Just get away from me forever. I'm so tired of anything Kanye West. We'll come back to it. I don't want to rant. We're over on time, and there's football on.
Okay, next, Brett Kavanaugh.
Seems like everything went smooth.
Yeah, I mean,
just, you know what? I know standard. It didn't break the way a lot of the country wanted it to break. I'm glad it's over.
Yeah, and on the bright side, we only have to deal with it for like the next 4 decades.
Right.
No biggie.
Listen, my sports betting thing got through. I don't care what anybody else. I tried to tell myself to calm down because I'm going to be a one-issue voter this November, and I know that's selfish. I am voting based on sports betting.
And finally, number 5 on the Fast Five, pot at LAX.
Didn't hear anything about it.
Oh,
no,
man.
What's going on? Did they find a big stash?
No, LAX is going to allow people to carry marijuana.
Through security?
Yeah, through security in their carry-ons.
See, that's nuts to me because that's federally regulated. And you know what else is federally regulated? Boy, having trouble there. Is the TSA.
Yeah.
So technically, the TSA should still say that and say, hey, sorry, that's a Schedule 1 narcotic. You cannot bring that onto the plane or through security. That has to go. Oh, also, you're arrested because it's federally regulated.
Yeah, the weird thing is you're allowed to bring it onto a plane, but only if the place you're flying
to
California is also allows, like the example they gave, I think, was like if you're flying from LAX to Vermont, you're good because Vermont is legal. Yeah, it's legal.
But they don't check your bag on the way out. So is TSA? So is your bag going through? They see marijuana. Is the TSA agent who just scanned that going to say, "Can I see your ticket? Where are you going?"
I don't.
Because you could be. Let's say you have a layover in, wherever else it's legal. Oh, I'm going to drop it there.
Let's see. If your flight is going from LAX to a place where marijuana isn't legal, it depends on the laws in the state or country where you arrive.
So they're just washing their hands of that then. They're saying that because there's no way they're going to check your ticket after they put the bag through security. No chance. So, insane though. Wow.
Yeah,
okay.
Crazy.
Well, that's on our ballot, Steve. 3 weeks away. Or 4 weeks away. You and I will be voting on that very law in this state.
Yeah. I'm all for it.
I think it passes 2-1.
You want to take pot on a plane? Go for it. You want to smoke pot? Go for it. I don't care.
You know what I want?
People
our roads fixed.
Yeah.
By the money from people who actually use that. Yeah. I don't use it. I can't through work. I wouldn't consider it. Not in my realm. It's not in my world. But I want my potholes fixed from pot.
Ooh, yeah. Has there been a tie-in on that? Like,
wow. Did we just start a campaign?
Potholes.
Pot for potholes.
Pot for potholes.
I mean, that's better than the stupid Domino's campaign.
Is it too late to run for
some election in 30 days?
I think we could get a grassroots campaign going.
I think we can get write-in candidacy. Pot for potholes.
Yeah.
Vote Steve. Vote Kyle.
Oh, I'm running?
It's you or me.
Well, can we both run? Can we
run as a team?
Like a combined ticket?
Well, we'd have to run as like governor and lieutenant, maybe.
Okay.
Or Senate and lieutenant.
Yep. Senate and lieutenant. That's what they call it.
right?
Yeah.
Like the Lou Senator, like the Lieutenant Governor, but we have the Lou Senate.
Why wouldn't it be
Senator?
Lieutenant Senator?
Dude, you just knock that middle out there. You save yourself a couple syllables.
Too many words. Ain't nobody got time for that. All right, next, before that was Brett Kavanaugh. Boy, that really turned into a zoo, didn't it?
I don't know what you're talking about. Went smooth, open hearing, sexual assault allegations, FBI investigation, narrow vote to get him out of a committee, 30-hour debate. Yeah, no, it went smooth, man. This is how all of them go, right?
Yeah. Well, and like I said, on the bright side, we only have to deal with the ramifications of this for the next 4 decades.
Hey, I'm glad it's over.
Yeah. Me too. Happy it's over. Kanye West on SNL.
God, just go away forever.
Yeah.
Why can't he just move to Wyoming and get lost?
I think that Kanye is a smart person when it comes to getting himself out there, marketing himself, constantly being in the conversation. I think anything that he says is really stupid.
Right. Conversely, I think he's the dumbest person on the planet.
Not. Yeah, he's brilliant, but he's stupid. Not a smart guy. He doesn't know what he's saying. He doesn't understand what he's saying. He's had a pretty good life, so he assumes that everybody else of his skin color has had a pretty good life too. Like when he said that TMZ video a couple months ago, when he was at the TMZ headquarters, and he was like, oh, well, the only reason that slavery happened is because we let it happen. And like one of the dudes there was an African American man, was like, Kanye, you can't just say that. Like, that's irresponsible for you to say that.
Right.
He's like, your experience is a lot different because you're a multimillionaire. Like, you may not have a lot of the issues that people with your skin color that aren't in your situation have. I just don't think that he's not a smart person. He's a very dumb person.
I'd agree. Everything you said.
And that's not because he, and
him.
I'm not saying that because like, oh, he's a Trump supporter or whatever. That doesn't have anything to do with it. I would have said that Kanye is a stupid person 3 years ago.
I think he has a very serious mental health issue.
Yeah.
That has gone unaddressed, and what only magnified that is by him being included in the Kardashian circle of death.
Yeah.
And there's no chance that his cycle of fame ends well. I really don't think so. I think he's closer to a Britney-style meltdown than he is any type of career high point or resurgence.
All right. Before that, we had Khabib
Nurmagomedov. Khabib Nurmagomedov versus Conor McGregor.
Now, you came in here all happy this morning because you had tweeted something. You thought for sure that your tweet had gone viral.
Yeah, no, this is the last time I'm going to be doing this podcast because later, losers, I'm about to go viral.
Okay,
which surely leads to money and fame.
Yeah.
Because I dropped a tweet last night, 1:30 a.m.
Let's hear it.
I actually just retweeted it myself.
So you retweeted
my own tweet,
your own tweet.
Yeah, but I just retweeted this saying RTing this because it's my opus, which is like that. This is my crowning achievement.
Yeah,
it's early, but I'm on my way to going viral and being famous. I'm at 5 likes. And hey, it looks like someone just retweeted it. It was me. Said, Khabib Nurga, not going to have a job anymore, am I right?
That's a reference to Office Space.
Hashtag UFC 229, because you want to get the people searching that hashtag. And then our Office Space joke's still cool in 2018. Now what you pointed out to me is accurate. I dropped the ball.
You totally.
I should have dropped the GIF or an image of the two Bobs from Office Space in there. Missed opportunity, absolutely.
Terrible.
I don't think that's going to hold me back, though, because
I think it's proven that it has held you back.
You know what doesn't fit in the BuzzFeed listicle that I'm trying to make, because that's how you get famous, is a GIF.
Yeah, no one's using them anymore.
Just text. That's all you need. So, 5 likes. I did just retweet that. Help me out. Well on my way to viral fame. That's at my account, KPAFF3587. That's a good joke. Right? Tell me that's not a good joke.
The best jokes do typically have to be followed up with the statement, that's a good joke.
If I did that without the explanation, just the would you have understood it?
I would.
Not gonna have a job here anymore. Am I right?
I would have.
Yeah.
But you put that picture there, and it's and maybe hashtag Office Space.
That's the 1997 feature film Office Space. So we're at 20 years burn for that joke.
Yeah.
That's about 13 years before Twitter existed, or 10 years before Twitter existed.
Was the UFC around then?
Yes, but that was where you could punch people in the nuts, and it was legal.
Oh, and they had like a 1,200-pound sumo fighter wrestling
against me.
Yeah, String Bean Jones or something.
Yeah. So, yeah, that's a good joke. I am well on my way to...
Again, yeah, that's a good joke.
Yeah, that's a good piece of business.
Said by the guy who told the joke.
Yep.
And then had to retweet his own joke.
Listen, because it was at 1:30 in the morning. A lot of people wake up. They don't scroll back to see, 8 to 9 hours before. So I retweet it for more visibility because I just want that joke to sit and stew with everybody who deserves that. So what I'm saying, you're welcome, Internet, for that piece of business.
All right. KPAFF 3587.
Yeah.
If you want to retweet that.
Please do. Pass that on to BuzzFeed. Be BuzzFeed famous here shortly, which is when do they cut my check?
And finally, A Star is Born.
Loved it. Loved every minute of it. Made me cry twice, Steve, as we talked about it at length. Go see it. I want to have all the conversations on the planet about that movie. I absolutely adored it.
All right. I did too. I can't say a bad thing about, well, there are some things that kind of caught me off guard in that movie, but...
Yeah. That'll happen.
Yeah.
Part of me wishes I had read a little bit about the older version, so I would have braced myself. But
I'll disagree. I'm happy that I did not read anything about it.
Here I sit, still stewing on that movie. 2 days later.
Big thanks to Sarah Frenchy Toasty for joining us and groveling
garbage food
and just begging our forgiveness.
Should that be the poll this week?
What? I thought we already had a poll. We had pancakes or French toast.
That's
right?
what I mean. Should that be the poll?
Yeah, definitely.
Vote on that. What's a better breakfast food? Pancakes, French toast,
or French toast.
That's where we're at now.
So thanks to Sarah for taking the call today. You can download, subscribe, and review the show in iTunes, the Apple Podcast app, Google Play, TuneIn, Stitcher, YouTube, Libsyn, SteveandKyle.com. Merch available at SteveandKyle.com/merch. If you want to get some of that, thank you to the people who have ordered that so far.
Yeah, and always if you order it, take a picture of yourself or your merch, send it to a social media #garbage merch so we can retweet that and get the visibility out there. And Philip, get on it.
Yeah, send that on Twitter at Steve and Kyle, Facebook.com/Steve and Kyle. This could be the last one for 2 weeks, right?
Well, they'll all get a new episode, but you and I might be the last time for 2 weeks.
Because again, the baby will be born tomorrow. October 8th.
Means by the time you're hearing this, according to Steve, that baby is born.
That baby was born yesterday.
Yeah, and again, happy birthday to my dad. 60.
Big 6-0.
Can't say enough good things about him. My hero, my role model, and everything. I love my dad.
He's a fantastic man.
He loves you too. He loves hanging out with you too.
Every time that we've hung out with him, hopefully do that again soon.
Yep.
Let's take him out for a drink soon.
Yeah, we have to.
How about that?
Have to.
All right. Talk to you guys next week.
See you.